I'm Dr. Bernous, though many people know me simply as Dr. B or Dr. BB. I want to start this episode with a simple observation. We are living in the fastest paced psychological era humanity has ever experienced. Not just technologically fast, but mentally fast. These days, with a few taps on our phones, we can order food, get directions, write emails, generate images, solve problems, and now with AI, even outsource thinking itself. Life has become smoother, easier, and more efficient than ever before, right? But I want to ask a different question today. Not is technology good or bad, because I think that's too simplistic. The real question is, what is this fast-paced life doing to our psyche? Recently, the American Psychological Association, APA, published and raised concern that our increasing reliance on technology is associated with changes in attention, memory, and executive functioning. While mindfulness, engagement, and use of technology can improve certain aspects of our cognition resilience, mindless scrolling and passive usage can harm us. In simple terms, while technology makes life easier, it may also be quietly reshaping how we think, focus, and tolerate frustration. And that's what I want to explore with you today. One of the biggest psychological shifts of our time is something called cognitive offloading. Basically, we are handing over mental work to our devices. These days, we don't memorize phone numbers anymore. We don't calculate tips in our heads anymore when we go for dinners. We don't remember routes. We follow GPS. We don't even hold information. We search for it. And now, these days, with the use of AI, we don't even have to sit with uncertainty or struggle through ideas. We can just ask, and the answer will be provided. Here's the thing. Our brains don't stay sharp by accident. Attention, memory, planning, and focus are like muscles. They strengthen when we use them. Our brain does not fail when effort is continually bypassed. It reshapes itself. While speed, scanning, and responsiveness to novelty are improves, depth, patience, and sustained attention gradually decline. The brain practices what life demands of it. This brings me to something I see often in my line of clinical work. Many people today feel restless, distracted, impatient, unable to focus, and easily bored. And understandably, they start wondering, do I have ADHD? Sometimes the answer is yes, but increasingly, sometimes the answer is no. What we are seeing these days more and more is technologically driven attention erosion that somehow looks like ADHD, but isn't neurodevelopmental in nature. We live in a world of instant gratification of desires. Let me give you some examples. Food arrives instantly. Messages are immediate. Entertainment never ends. Answers are instant. The nervous system adapts to this pace. Reward pathways become increasingly attuned to immediacy. Over time, boredom becomes intolerable, waiting feels unbearable, and sustained effort feels almost painful. So, yes, many people today struggle with attention. But that doesn't automatically mean that they have ADHD. In this regard, the APA has cautioned clinicians to be careful here. emphasizing the importance of early childhood history and long term patterns, not just modern attention fatigue. Sometimes the speed itself becomes the problem. Artificial intelligence adds another layer to this conversation. AI doesn't just help us, it replaces our efforts. AI writes for us, organizes thoughts, it solves problems instantly, to give you some examples. And while that can be incredibly useful, there is something psychologically important about effort that we don't talk about enough. Growth happens when we don't know the answer right away, when we struggle, when we revise, when we sit with our own uncertainty. Frustration tolerance isn't a flaw, it's a skill. As AI becomes embedded everywhere, including large systems like our own United States Department of Defense, we need to ask ourselves, what happens when human thinking becomes optional? The danger isn't AI becoming smarter than us. No, I don't think so. The danger is us practicing thinking less. At the same time, all of this is happening, something fascinating is also emerging. People are slowing down on purpose. We are seeing a return to older, slower practices, and psychologically, this is very meaningful. As a photographer, I can attest to this, that these days photographers are going back to use film. Not just because it's better, but because it forces presence. When you use film, you have fewer shots, no instant review, no undo button, and you have to slow down, commit, wait, and trust your own perception. There's something magical about that. These days, some photographers even prefer older DSLR cameras with optical viewfinders over fully digital mirrorless systems. Why? Because you're seeing through the world directly, not through a screen. That matters, and especially psychologically, because it keeps you embodied, present inside the experience. And then there is this resurgence of interest in psychedelics, breath work, mindfulness, and traditional healing systems. Regardless of one's stance, the message to me is very clear. People are searching for depth, slowness, and inner peace. This isn't escapism, it's regulation. When life becomes too fast, the psyche looks for ways to slow itself down. This actually connects deeply with the first 4 episodes of this podcast. In every episode so far, I've spoken with practitioners who are fully modern education, modern lives, but the ones that we talk to are also searching for old wisdom in their own way. We talked about breathing techniques, holistic healing, mindfulness approaches to trauma, and traditional medicine and embodied awareness. All of them, in different ways, are responding to the same dilemma. And that is a world that moves too fast for the nervous system to navigate. Too much information to integrate, too materialistic for the soul, for our soul. This search for ancient wisdom isn't nostalgia, it's adaptation. Let me be clear, I don't believe technology is the enemy. The problem is speed without pause. It's the pace. The human psyche needs effort. It needs boredom. It needs frustration. Also, it needs time. Our task today isn't to reject technology, but to use it without losing ourselves. So what I'm proposing is maybe next time during dinner time, calculate the tip instead of reaching for the phone. Maybe on our way home, we can try a new route instead of using our GPS. And maybe we pause before letting AI do the thinking for us. Because when everything becomes instant, something essential disappears. And the quiet return to slowness may be the psyche's way of reminding us what we actually need. Thank you very much for listening to this episode.